Do you think the place you live is harsh? Well, wait until you see the places on Earth where simply setting foot there could cost you your life. There are rivers so polluted that their surfaces are covered with thick layers of toxic foam. Cities where breathing the air has been compared to smoking dozens of cigarettes a day. Communities forced to live and work in massive dumps just to survive. Some villages cling to the edges of steep cliffs where, honestly, a single strong gust of wind could turn into a disaster. Yet, thousands of people still live, work, and raise families in places like these every single day. What is it like to wake up and face such daunting surroundings, to know that your very environment can be as much a threat as anything else? In this video, we'll journey to 7 of the world's most dangerous places, exploring what it means to survive, and even thrive, when the odds are stacked so high against you. Get ready, because what you're about to see might completely change the way you look at our world. Hashima Island, off the coast of Nagasaki, Japan, is a place that almost feels like a set from a dystopian film. It's been called Battleship Island for its unique silhouette, but today it stands as a haunting relic of the past. Once a bustling hub of coal mining activity, Hashima was home to thousands of workers and their families. Now, its abandoned concrete buildings, weather-beaten and crumbling, loom over the churning sea, their windows staring out like empty eyes. Walking through the narrow corridors and shattered apartments, there's a sense that time simply stopped. The silence is broken only by the sound of the wind and the occasional crash of falling masonry. The danger here is real. Floors can collapse without warning, and rusted metal juts from every corner. The island is so unstable that only a small portion is open to tourists, who must stick closely to designated paths. Hashima's history is as complex as its architecture. Opened in the late 1800s, it became one of the most densely populated places on Earth by the mid-20th century. Families lived in tightly packed apartments, workers toiled in deep, claustrophobic mines, and every inch of space was used for survival. But when petroleum replaced coal, the island was abandoned almost overnight, leaving behind a ghost city frozen in time. It's not just the physical dangers that make Hashima so unsettling. There's an emotional heaviness here, a weight of memories, both good and bad. Many workers were brought here under harsh conditions, especially during World War II, adding a layer of historical pain to the ruins. In 2015, Hashima was granted UNESCO World Heritage status, a recognition that brings both preservation and controversy. Today, the island's eerie atmosphere draws adventurous tourists and filmmakers alike. But setting foot here is a reminder of how quickly human ambition can give way to nature's relentless reclaim. The wind whistles through broken windows, and the waves batter the seawall as Hashima stands in silent testimony to a vanished way of life. For those who visit, Hashima is more than just a curiosity. It's a lesson in impermanence, a place where survival was once possible, but now only memories remain. Tucked in the heart of Mumbai, Dharavi is often described as one of the most densely populated places on the planet. Within its labyrinth of narrow lanes, nearly 1 million people live, work, and form a vibrant, beating heart of the city. Here, life unfolds in startling proximity. Families share tiny rooms, children play in alleyways barely wide enough for a bicycle, and commerce flourishes in the most unlikely corners. What's remarkable about Dharavi isn't just the sheer number of people, but the incredible resilience they show each day. Despite the cramped conditions, the community thrives on ingenuity. Small workshops churn out everything from leather goods to baked treats. Recycling plants process mountains of plastic, and the informal economy is estimated to generate hundreds of millions of dollars each year. Yet, the challenges are immense. Sanitation is a constant struggle, with limited access to clean water and public toilets. Disease spreads quickly in such close quarters, and the monsoon rains can turn streets into rivers of mud and sewage. It would be easy to see only hardship here, but to do so would be to miss the spirit of the people who call Dharavi home. There's a sense of camaraderie and resourcefulness that's hard to find elsewhere. Neighbors look out for one another, and the entrepreneurial spirit runs deep. Artists, activists, and community leaders work tirelessly to improve conditions and give voice to those often overlooked by the rest of the city. Walking through Dharavi, the energy is palpable. The scent of spices mingles with the clang of metalworking, and everywhere you look, life is being lived with extraordinary tenacity. This is a place where survival isn't just about making it through the day. It's about building, dreaming, and pushing forward, no matter the odds. To outsiders, Dharavi might appear overwhelming or chaotic, but for its residents, it's home. And for many, it's proof that even in the harshest conditions, humanity finds a way to endure, adapt, and create. Beneath the iconic boulevards of Paris lies a world few ever see, a shadowy underworld of stone, silence, and memory. The Paris catacombs began as limestone quarries, but in the late 18th century, they became the final resting place for millions, as overcrowded cemeteries threatened the health of the living. Today, they stretch for over 200 miles in a winding labyrinth, only a small fraction of which is open to the public. Stepping into the catacombs is like crossing a threshold into another realm. The temperature drops, your footsteps echo, and the walls close in. At every turn, bones are stacked with meticulous care, skulls and femurs arranged in macabre patterns, forming corridors of the dead. It's easy to lose your way, and easy to lose your nerve. The dangers here are very real. The catacombs are a maze, and every year, thrill-seekers and curious explorers risk becoming hopelessly lost. Some never make it out. There are stories of hidden chambers, secret societies, and even underground parties, but for most, the overwhelming feeling is one of awe and unease. For centuries, the catacombs have fascinated and frightened Parisians. They are a reminder of mortality, of history's weight, and of the thin line between life above and death below. The silence is profound, broken only by the distant drip of water and the shuffle of your own feet. Tourists who descend into the official sections are carefully guided, their paths strictly controlled. But beyond the sanctioned routes, the tunnels twist and turn, filled with graffiti, forgotten relics, and the ever-present sense of being watched by thousands of silent witnesses. It's a place where time blurs, and the past feels frighteningly close. Here, beneath the city of romance, lies a kingdom of bones, a stark reminder that even the most beautiful places can hide chilling secrets. The Yamuna River holds a special place in the hearts of millions, both a sacred waterway and a lifeline for northern India. Worshipped for centuries, it's a site of ritual and celebration. But today, the Yamuna is also one of the most polluted rivers on Earth, a tragic emblem of modern environmental crisis. Approaching the riverbanks, one of the first things you notice is the thick, white foam that covers the surface. This isn't the work of nature, but of untreated sewage, industrial waste, and chemical runoff. The water beneath is black and sluggish, choked with plastic and debris. Yet, every day people come to bathe, to pray, to collect water, and to eke out a living from its banks. The health risks are staggering. Exposure to the water can cause skin diseases, respiratory problems, and even lead to serious infections. Fishermen, laundry workers, and children play and work in these toxic conditions, their lives a daily negotiation with danger. Despite repeated efforts to clean up the river, the scale of pollution is overwhelming. Factories line the banks, pumping waste directly into the water. During festivals, the burden increases as idols, flowers, and offerings are added to the already strained ecosystem. The foam can be so thick it looks like snow, but it burns to the touch and carries a pungent chemical odor. And yet, the Yamuna remains a place of hope and resilience. Communities along its banks organize cleanup drives, activists raise awareness, and scientists search for solutions. For many, leaving isn't an option. This is home. and the river is as much a part of their identity as their own families. It's a stark reminder that survival, here, means adapting to environmental catastrophe on an unimaginable scale, finding beauty and meaning in a place where danger flows as freely as the water itself. If you've ever dreamed of setting sail for Antarctica, there's one obstacle standing in your way: the Drake Passage, stretching between the southern tip of South America and the frozen continent. This stretch of water is notorious for being the most treacherous sea route on the planet. Here, the Atlantic, Pacific, and Southern Oceans collide, creating a cauldron of chaos. Crossing the Drake is a rite of passage for sailors and scientists alike. The storms here are legendary: gale-force winds, waves that can tower over 15 meters, and currents that shift without warning. Ships are tossed like toys, and even the most seasoned mariners can find themselves overwhelmed by seasickness and fear. The danger isn't just in the water. Icebergs lurk just beneath the surface, invisible until it's too late. The temperature can plummet in an instant, and rescue is almost impossible in these remote, tempestuous conditions. For those who travel this route, preparation is everything. Yet, even the best-laid plans can unravel with a single rogue wave. Despite these hazards, the Drake Passage is a vital link to one of the last great wildernesses on Earth. Scientists brave the crossing to study climate change, wildlife, and the fragile ecosystems of Antarctica. For tourists, the journey is both a test of endurance and a badge of honor, a story to tell if you make it through. On calm days, known as the Drake Lake, the sea can appear almost serene. But these moments are rare, and the tranquility is always tinged with the knowledge that the next storm could be just hours away. The unpredictability is what makes the Drake Passage so deadly and so compelling. For those who survive the crossing, there's a sense of awe and respect for the raw power of nature. Here, far from any land, survival depends on skill, luck, and the ability to weather whatever the sea decides to throw at you. On the remote shores of Lake Batur in Bali lies Trunyan village, a place where life and death exist side by side in unique and sometimes unsettling ways. Unlike most Balinese communities, Trunyan follows ancient burial traditions that set it apart, not just in Indonesia, but in the world. Here, the dead are not buried or cremated. Instead, bodies are laid out in bamboo cages, exposed to the elements beneath a sacred banyan tree known as the taru menyan. Remarkably, the tree is said to neutralize the smell of decomposition, shrouding the burial ground in an eerie, peaceful silence. Skulls and bones are carefully arranged nearby, a visible reminder of the cycle of life and death. Reaching Trunyan is not easy. The village is accessible only by boat, its isolation lending it an almost mystical aura. Visitors are few, and the traditions here are fiercely protected by the community, who view the outside world with a mixture of curiosity and caution. The atmosphere is one of deep respect. Ceremonies are conducted with solemnity, and outsiders are expected to observe with reverence. For the villagers, these rituals are a vital link to their ancestors, a way of maintaining harmony with the forces that govern life and death. Yet living here is not without its challenges. The isolation that preserves Trunyan's traditions also means limited access to healthcare, education, and economic opportunity. The lake can be unpredictable, and the volcanic soil, while fertile, is prone to sudden upheaval. Despite these hardships, the people of Trunyan endure, guided by a worldview that sees life and death not as opposites, but as parts of a continuous whole. It's a perspective shaped by centuries of tradition, and one that offers a different way of understanding survival. To visit Trunyan is to step into a world where the line between the living and the dead is both clear and comforting. A reminder that even in the harshest places, meaning and community can thrive. In the heart of Accra, Ghana, lies Agbogbloshie, the world's largest e-waste dump, and one of the most hazardous places to live and work. Here, Mountains of discarded electronics from around the globe are dismantled, burned, and scavenged for whatever value can be extracted from their toxic remains. Every day, thousands of workers, many of them teenagers, pick through piles of broken computers, televisions, and mobile phones. The air is thick with the acrid smoke of burning plastic and metal, a toxic cocktail of lead, mercury, and other dangerous chemicals. The smell is overpowering, and the consequences for health are devastating. Respiratory diseases, skin conditions, and heavy metal poisoning are all common. The dangers aren't just environmental. The informal nature of the work means little protection for those who brave the dump. Fires can break out without warning, and the risk of injury is ever present. Yet for many, this is the only way to survive, extracting copper and other metals to sell for a few dollars a day. Agbogbloshie's existence is a direct result of the world's insatiable appetite for new technology, and our failure to responsibly manage what we leave behind. Containers of e-waste arrive from Europe, North America, and Asia, creating a landscape of shattered screens and tangled wires that stretches as far as the eye can see. Despite the overwhelming challenges, there are signs of change. Local activists and international organizations are working to improve conditions, provide safer alternatives, and fight for environmental justice. Some workers have banded together to demand better wages and protection, refusing to accept that survival must come at such a high cost. Still, for the people of Agbogbloshie, survival is a daily struggle. The landscape is both a symbol of global neglect and a testament to human resilience, a place where hope persists, even among the ashes of our discarded dreams. Some of these places are unbelievably beautiful, yet so terrifying that you might never want to set foot there. Whether it's the haunting silence of an abandoned island, the shadowy depths of a city of bones, or the relentless storms of the Southern Ocean, these environments push the imagination and the human spirit to its very edge. Locations where nature, environment, and living conditions constantly push the limits of human survival remind us just how adaptable, resourceful, and resilient people can be. In the face of daily dangers, communities find ways to endure, to support one another, and sometimes to flourish in ways that defy every expectation. It's both humbling and inspiring to witness the courage required to call these places home. Thanks for watching. Which of these places surprised you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this journey as eye-opening as I did. Until next time, take care. And remember, survival comes in many forms.